Aloha Virgos, these are your April 2016 horoscopes with me, Lada from Astrolada.com from the beautiful Maui in Hawaii. I hope you enjoy the view. Working and enjoying the sun here, and if you know, Hawaii used to be part, according to ancient legend and esoteric knowledge, it used to be part of the oldest continent called Lemuria, which preceded even Atlantis. So that's where humanity was born. And this is definitely very mystical energy here. I hope you feel it. And now let's see what April will bring for you, Virgos, and how the energies are proceeding. Well, first of all, the sun will revitalize Aries, which is your 8th house for you, Virgos. The sun and Venus are there. So 8th house is first of all, mutual finances, so they can be focused somehow in this month in April on mutual finances, whether it's taxes, whether it's banks, money that comes to you from others, from government, or from your spouse, from your partner, from a business partner, or if you have somehow involved, if you've given someone money, if you're waiting to receive money from somewhere, or to get a loan, or also taxes rules, the 8th house, and inheritances. So this might be one of the focus that you experience while the sun and Venus are triggering your 8th house. There can be actually some help and support with resolving such issues, because Venus, whatever Venus is, it helps us kind of detangle a more complicated situation and solve matters through diplomacy and with a bit of luck as well. So you might even receive some support or access to someone else's resources and finances. If you work with people and their money and resources and talents, somehow this can help benefit you as well. Maybe your partner can get you a present, or maybe if you have a business partnership, it can bring a bit more finances now this month, or maybe you can get a renewal, some new idea how to create some more benefit from in regards to resources that you receive from others, or maybe to invent new ways for that, maybe to innovate something in some way, because the sun is our creative intelligence there. And the 8th house is also connected a little bit to secrets. So it might be a little bit more, the energy might be a little bit more withdrawn this month, because the 8th house is a bit more secretive house. And the 8th house is connected more to secret information, secret activities of sort, or even some secret that's coming to the surface for you in some way. The 8th house also rules emotional intensity, so people become more emotionally sensitive when the 8th house is triggered, and they can become even a bit more suspicious, because they can feel the motivations, the undercurrents of others. They can feel why, and even if others feel like, oh, you're becoming paranoid, actually often there's a pretty correct hunches that we get when the sun triggers our 8th house and you have Venus there. So you can almost you might feel like you're becoming a little bit like an X-ray machine, that you can read other people's thoughts, or that you can read other people's motivations. And if you have a gut feeling that you don't like someone, it's usually quite correct when the 8th house is triggered for you. And you might be more interested in secret or occult information, knowledge of sorts, something, crime investigation, or doing some investigation and research. These energies are supportive for digging something under the surface and doing some research there. But on the more mundane level, and sexuality usually can increase when the planets trigger one's 8th house, but this is like more raw sexuality, more deep psychological raw sexuality that comes to the surface, even a bit somehow obsessive tendencies, because the 8th house indicates our inner demons, and the sun triggers it there. So we can become you can become, Virgos, a little bit more gloomy, more focused, more intense. It brings a bit of scorpionic energy in you. So it kind of, you can become a little bit more scorpionic in energy, more a bit obsessive, darker, suspicious, but also more penetrating. You can have more powerful psychological impact on others right now. And even some psychological transformation can be happening on a deep level within you yourself as well. Even you might not be fully aware of it, but something is shifting psychologically, emotionally, on a deep. The levels, your emotional levels are shifting within you, the emotional layers. Sorry about that. And after that, towards the end of April, the sun will move and Venus into Taurus, your 9th house, so the energy will lighten up a lot more. Maybe you'd have whatever secrets you've dug out, whatever information you found out, whatever inner introspections you are doing and deeper thinking, psychological feeling. You'll be able to make sense of it and see the bigger picture from the end of April, and especially in May, the energy lifts up for you because the sun enters your 9th house, another earth sign becomes more supportive, you start feeling more free, more liberated, more optimistic. But while the sun is in your 8th house, there is like more deep and even possibilities for inner power struggles within yourself, or some obsessions coming to the surface, some deep desires that it's harder for you to control. But this is how you get to know your other shadow side when the 8th house is triggered, and you get to self-analyze yourself, you understand yourself better, because these are the hard 8th house is one of the hard houses in our horoscope, and when it's triggered by planets, we get to see our darker side, or something triggers in it reactions that we thought would not behave like that on the emotional level, and we thought, oh, I never thought I'd be like that. But this way, once a year or a few times a year when this 8th house is triggered, we get to understand more about our deeper psychology, to have some psychological breakthrough and awareness, and learn a bit more about ourselves. And intensity as well, and then when the Sun and Venus move into your 9th house, you start becoming more freer, more optimistic. You start making sense of this information that you received about yourself, and to put it in perspective. But we'll speak about May more when I am doing the May videos. And another thing that's very important for you Virgos is that Mars is turning retrograde. And Mars turning retrograde, it does not impact you directly, but it falls in your, Mars is right now in Sagittarius, in your 4th house, and for a couple of months it will be in your 4th house, moving backwards, and then it will go into your 3rd house, moving retrograde. And whatever house Mars goes retrograde in, and this happens once every 2.5 years in different houses of your horoscope, this is where we need to put extra efforts. This is where we have to mobilize extra resources, energy resources, extra hard work, solve some problems, and some complicated situations can appear that we have to untangle, that we have to solve like a puzzle, because Mars is the planet of logic and fixing problems. So in order for the universe develops our Mars qualities for being able to fight, to overcome problems, to overcome obstacles, to fix and resolve problems and obstacles logically, strategically, step by step, when Mars goes retrograde. But in order for us to develop those qualities, we need to encounter something that we have to resolve. And for you, it happens very likely in regards to the 5th and in regards to 4th and 3rd house. So over April, May, June, and even July, you'll be experiencing, and up to August and September, you'll be having to fix problems in regards to your family. For example, the 4th house, where Mars is retrograding, rules your family life, your personal family, your property, maybe some issues that come in regards to property, land, in regards to parents, or in regards to your own family, that you have to put extra efforts there. There might be even some kind of conflict that happens, conflict of interest, some provocations that come to you from those areas, or maybe having to fix something, to go and repair something in your house, because Mars goes retrograde. Some problem comes to the surface from the past that was hidden, that you become aware of, and you have to fix. And it's a good time for renovations, for fixing something around your house, for redoing something that's not working well, for maybe doing a research if you want to be because Mars rules big changes that can happen. And when it's retrograde, it's kind of a preparatory stage of you. For example, if you want to relocate, if you want to buy property or sell property, this Mars can very much trigger those themes, but it can make the things a bit more complicated. They can delay those matters. There might be some technical problems that have to be fixed, or some opposition, or some things that you have to resolve with extra efforts and willpower. But the good news is that a retrograde planet becomes 3 times more heavier. It requires 3 times more effort, especially Mars, to fight, to resolve problems there. Those issues can escalate. But at the end of the day, when it moves, it requires repetition over and over. But when it starts moving forwards, it gives you 3 times more fruitful results. So for example, if you were doing some renovations and they went a bit more complicated, and some matters in regards to purchasing property or something got complicated and required extra effort, at the end of the day, when Mars starts moving forwards, you would realize that that was worth it because you found a better deal, or you found better buyers, so you found a better place, so you found some problem that you would not have been aware of, so you really strengthen, say, the foundation or the roof of your house, or the relationships in your family, and that you're really resolving this problem has strengthened your family relationships and what's healthy for you in regards to your private family life. And also we can become more emotionally reactive when Mars is retrograde in the 4th house. You know, Virgos, you can feel like there is extra pressure to you from family, from relationships, extra demands, extra sleepless nights sometimes, or the need to fix something, to change something. But also there might be some power struggles that happen, but again, at the end of the day, when these are resolved, you'd have a more stable foundation in regards to your family, and you'd probably have moved to a better place or improved something in your home in some way. So again, the final results are beneficial. Even if there is some breakthrough in your family relationships of some sort, this is again maybe because this person was not supportive, was not good for you energetically, so to speak. So the final result will be positive. You just should not despair when the situation becomes a bit more complicated. And then Mars goes retrograde into your 3rd house as well. And Mars rules your 3rd house, and when the Lord of the 3rd house goes retrograde, it means that there might be some complications that you have to resolve, to put more willpower in sorting out some documents, some papers, in some negotiations, in some communications, in some kind of a 3rd house rules, so information, communication, talking with others, talking verbal or written communications, and learning new skills. So one good thing is that while Mars is retrograde in your 3rd house, you can really deepen your mastery of some skill, like almost like a soldier, put more efforts there, and by the time Mars moves forward, you might have learned a new language or really deepened your skills at an instrument, or using some software or some course that you studied, because 3rd house rules learning new skills, new technical, informational skills, learning something new. So maybe some course that you go deeper in, or maybe learning to drive, anything that is new skills, new interests, new hobbies, new kind of stuff. We can deepen them when Mars is moving retrograde, but also it can complicate matters in regards to and require extra efforts in those regards, but it can also complicate matters in regards to, those signing those documents, communications, relationship with siblings and co-mates, teammates, people that you meet in your everyday environment at work, people that you go to the pub with, people that your neighbors. 3rd house rules all those relationships that are in our everyday life. Teammates, playmates, flatmates. So it can create some kind of power struggles, there are complications, or having to work very hard on something together to resolve with such people. And again, by the end it moves forward, you'd have created a more solid basis, you'd have resolved such matters there. Things would have been put on the table and resolved, or maybe you'd have completed some project together with some neighbors or siblings, something that requires extra effort or extra cooperation between you. And it's good not to start wars with any kind of such people in your near environment, because if you start a war during Mars retrograde from the middle of April onwards, the ancients say that whoever starts a war during Mars retrograde, so basically start suing your neighbor or going to an argument or attack your siblings or relatives of some sorts, which is 3rd house, or co-mates or teammates at work, colleagues of sorts, you're going to lose that fight. It's going to just create lots of complications for you. But if you're on the receiving end of such attacks, ancient texts say that the aggressor will actually, while Mars is retrograde, suffer more than the one who is being aggressed. So if you're on the receiving ends of that, the hands will be, the ball will be in your hands basically. You have the upper hand, but try not to be the aggressor yourself. And also 3rd house rules travels, moving, relocations of sorts, like moving on and off, like traveling of some sorts. There might be, like, for example, some delays and extra efforts that required to do some documents, to write something, to complete some media project, marketing project, to complete third house rules, media marketing, advertising, administrative work, writing, speaking, communicating, reports, you know, all kind of such things. You might need to put extra effort there over the next 3-4 months, because that's your third house, over the next almost till, you know, almost till August in a sense. And maybe you won't feel it immediately from April, but from May, June, you're gonna start feeling that for the, you know, because Mars goes retrograde in your third house and it rules the third house. So you might have to deal with solving such matters. And by the end of the process, if you were more meticulous, more strategic, you'd have much better contracts, you'd have negotiated better positions, you'd have achieved, done some report or some mental work, which requires your mental effort, especially like the more rational, analytical side of your brain. So you'd have been able to make really good job of such project, but they can become very demanding for a few months. And again, don't forget, retrograde planet, extra effort, but extra fruitful results. So that's for you, Virgo. Thank you very much. Enjoy. I hope you enjoy the beautiful views. And write to me, subscribe to my website, and also do follow me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page called Astrolada, and I do daily updates. I write about the energies of every day. I do competitions to win free readings with me. I realize my readings can be quite expensive for someone, but I give free competitions to win a free reading with me or with one of my 30 psychics and astrologers. They also graciously every month, almost each one of them offers a free reading with them if you answer a simple question or if you just give your birth dates. So thank you very much, Virgos. I love you loads, and I will see you next month.